NBA playoffs game threes begin on Thursday night. Round one game threes. We got three of them. I'm going to break them all down free for you here. Side, total, player props. Let you know how to play these games. Free plays, free analysis coming up right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And I'll continue to do every NBA playoff game every day for the next 2 months through the finals in June. If you're finding it useful, thumbs up, like, positive comment below, and I will keep these videos coming. And make sure you click subscribe and you click that bell as well so you know when they're loaded each and every night. We try to get them up the night before, so plenty of time to do your own handicapping and use this information as well. Let's start with the first game on Thursday night on TNT, 7 o'clock Eastern, New York and Detroit. You know, I mentioned game one, the Pistons dominated for a good chunk, up 98-90, and the Knicks went on that incredible 21-0 run to win by 11. I told you in the video the other night that I thought the Pistons were a live dog in game two, and they were more than a live dog. They won the game outright, and this series is now tied 1-1. I do think this bounce-back situation now favors the veteran Knicks squad, which is probably the better overall squad. And as we check the line here, they opened one and they're staying -1, so not too much movement. They were about a 6.5, 7-point home favorite, so -1 on the road looks like a fair line here. Should be a good bounce-back spot for the Knicks, and the zigzag, I think, will continue to work in this series. Total is interesting to talk about, though, because we had the game two stay well under. Game one, of course, 235 points, soared over the total. They kept it at exactly 221.5 for game two, and it landed just 194. And what's interesting is the Pistons were plus 15 points from three-point range in game one and still lost by 11. It was the exact opposite. The Pistons did not shoot well, 22%, 6 for 27 from three. And the Knicks, meanwhile, were plus 12 from three-point range and lost game two. So the better three-point shooting team was the Pistons in game one, the Knicks in game two, and they both lost straight up. Really bizarre so far. I think it is a somewhat evenly matched series. But my point is, the three-point shooting was really bad in game two, and they landed at 194. The pace was still there, though. I think this is a bit of an overreaction. 221 now down to 214. Open 215 has been bet down to 214. I think the over 214 has some value here in game three between the Knicks and Pistons, 7 Eastern, Thursday night on TNT. All right, let's look at your next game. It's also on TNT. The next game at 9:30 Eastern, Oklahoma City and Memphis. They stuck the Nuggets Clippers on NBA TV at 10 Eastern. I'm a little surprised by that because this Oklahoma City-Memphis series has not been very good so far, and it's not a surprise. The Thunder are by far the best team in the NBA this year, 68 wins in the regular season. Cleveland and Boston had like 61 or so. I mean, Oklahoma City was the dominant team in the regular season. They continue to dominate here in the playoffs as well. Game one record, 51-point blowout win, of course, last Sunday. And the question became on Tuesday, can OKC do it again? I thought, Memphis was in a decent spot. The line was inflated, but as I told you Tuesday, I was in no hurry to back the Grizzlies either because they're just not a good team compared to Oklahoma City, and Thunder won by 19. So back-to-back blowout wins. The question becomes, is this a good spot now for Memphis in Game 3? On the surface, it is. Game 3 teams down 0-2, home teams down 0-2, normally give their best effort in Game 3. Now, it works better with quality teams. Memphis is not a quality team, at least not compared to the Thunder. But the line is big, 8.5. In fact, if you've blindly played home dogs this big over the decades since I started handicapping the NBA playoffs back in the 90s, you've made money. So I would lean towards Memphis here, but once again, not in a hurry to fade the Thunder. They're a dominant team. They can name their score when they want to. But if they're going to let down, it most likely is in Game 3 here on the road. So Memphis plus 8.5. If you're going to play the Grizzlies in this series, this is probably the best spot to do so. Let's dig into the box scores a little bit for some player props in this one. I mentioned that game one, you kind of could toss that one out because a lot of guys didn't play many minutes. In fact, OKC starters in that blowout in game one, only one starter played more than 23 minutes. And SGA had only 15 points, 4 for 13 shooting. So I thought it'd be interesting to see how he played in game two. And he bounced back as expected, 10 for 29 shooting, 27 points. Williams, 10 for 19, 24 points. And Williams in game one had 20 points, 10 for 16. So Williams has taken a lot of shots so far, Jalen Williams, in the 2 games. So I think you once again probably want to keep looking at his player props over until we see him back down on the amount of shot attempts from the field. Other guys that maybe we could fade, no one really jumps out to me in the OKC side. I do expect a better effort by Memphis at home. You got to figure that means John Morant probably does the heavy lifting. He had 25 shot attempts in game number 2 the other night, just 10 for 25, 3 for 6 from 3. He still ended up with 23 points. So Morant over probably makes sense. As far as the total in this game, open 226. It's been bet up to 227. Of course, games 1 and 2 both stayed under because Memphis only had 80 and 99 points. But I look for a little bit of a better offensive effort by Memphis back on their home court down 0-2 here in Game 3, 9:30 Eastern Thursday night on TNT. All right, let's finish it off with that late game on NBA TV at 10 o'clock Eastern, Denver and the Clippers. Quick reminder, I'm giving you every game free here in the videos. I'm giving you side, total, player prop opinions wherever I see some advantages. But my personal best bets are my strongest plays, and those go to my direct clients each and every day on my page, WagerTalk.com. You can also get my Red Hot Baseball on an 80% baseball run going into this week, midweek here. And that's a great time of year to get on baseball because last year we won over 100 units in baseball. We finished number 1 in the NBA, and it all started right now in late April this time of year. In fact, by the end of August, we had doubled our bankroll, up over 100 units by the end of August last year. Let's do it again. 1 year all access for $1 a play when you use promo code SM365. Check it out on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with shortcut WT.Buzz/SM. All right, let's finish the late game on NBA TV at 10 Eastern. Denver and the LA Clippers. Thought this would be a pretty tight series. I told you that last weekend when we started the preview on the Saturday game. It was a very tight game. LA blew the big lead, ended up losing in overtime by 2. Keep in mind the Clippers had a 15-point lead in game 1. Nuggets never led by more than 5, won by 2 in overtime. I did think it was a good bounce-back spot for the Clippers in Game 2, being the better overall team, and they held on to win. Their biggest lead was only 7 points, so won the game by 3. Denver actually had an 8-point lead in Game 2. So this looks like a very evenly matched series. So you would think on the surface the zigzag would work here, and it might. But I still think the Clippers are the better overall team. And something I'll point out is if you look at the final 15 games of the regular season, the LA Clippers had the best net rating in the NBA. They were ahead of even OKC and Boston, who were second and third. Minnesota, by the way, was fourth. Miami Heat, fifth. Interesting. But once again, the Clippers had the best net rating over the final 15 games. They really played good basketball. In fact, that Game 1 loss in overtime was their first loss since March. They hadn't lost a game in April until that Game 1 loss in OT. And they're getting it done on both ends of the court. They were actually the number 1 rated offensive efficiency team for the final 15 games of the regular season and number 3 defensive efficiency. So they really are playing good basketball. Of course, the Nuggets also are playing better basketball down the stretch. In fact, that loss the other night in Game 2 was the first time they lost since Michael Malone and the GM had both been fired a couple weeks earlier. So that did spark the team. Reports said Jokic and others did not like Malone. So really 2 play-on teams here, but I still think the Clippers are probably the better overall squad, all things equal. As we dig into the box score from Game 2, player props, Kawhi Leonard obviously had a huge game, 39 points, 15 for 19 shooting. Hard to do much better than that. Never looking to fade a superstar, but once again, basically that was a 100% perfect game by Kawhi Leonard in Game 2. So maybe he regresses a little bit, but once again, I lean Clippers here, so not looking to fade any of the Clippers superstars over or under. And once again, Jokic dominates. I mentioned that in Game 1 he missed a triple-double by, 1 rebound. He had 12 assists, 29 points, 9 rebounds. Well, he got the triple-double in Game 2, 26 points, 11 rebounds this time, and 10 assists. So really hard to fade Jokic. And it almost appears to me that the Clippers are like, look, Jokic is going to dominate. That's fine. Don't let anyone else beat us. And they've held the other guys in check pretty well. Jamal Murray, 42 minutes, 23 points. He was 9 for 17 shooting. So if you're going to fade some guys, maybe look for some of the secondary players under in the prop market between Denver and the LA Clippers. Braun only took 7 shot attempts as a starter. The other 2 starters, Gordon and Porter Jr., 24 shot attempts combined. So the starters are doing a lot of heavy lifting on the shot attempts. Russell Westbrook, off the bench, 23 minutes. He did shoot 11 times, 5 for 11, 14 points. As you all know from watching the videos over the years, I'm not a huge Westbrook fan. He's not afraid to shoot. He had 17 shot attempts in the overtime game in Game 1. But off of a 15-point and 14-point performances, maybe fade Westbrook on the road now if you can find some props on him to the under. And I mentioned Braun, 34 minutes as a starter, and he only took 7 shot attempts, 5 points. You look back in Game 1, he played 45 minutes, had 11 points, was just 5 for 10 shooting, 1 for 4 from 3. So Westbrook and Braun under props would be one way I might lean in this one. But in what looks like a zigzag series, I think the Clippers are still the better team. And the line's pricey, though. It opened 4.5. It's up to 5. But the sharp offshore leading indicators are 5 minus 15. I think the sharp money's on the LA Clippers here in Game 3. All right, quick breakdown for you of the 3 games. Trying to do this rapid fire 10-minute videos for you each and every day as I'm doing the handicapping. I'm going to let you know what I'm looking at here. Once again, trying to give you leans on as many sides and totals, player props where I see some potential value. But once again, if you want my official best bets, I have maybe 1 to 2 best bets per night. Those are available on my page for my direct clients, WagerTalk.com. And right now is a great time to become an all-sports client and be taking a serious long-term investment approach. This time last year, we went on a monster run, and it wasn't a coincidence. Number 1 in the NBA last year, number 1 overall all time at WagerTalk, so we had a great playoffs. And baseball went over 100 units last year, number 1 in baseball best bet profit as well for 2024. It coincided right now for the next few months, all the way to the end of August, we doubled our bankroll and went over 100 units for all sports clients. And right now, when you sign up for the 1-year all access, not only do you save $811 with promo code SM365, that gets it down to exactly $3 a day, about $1 a play, but you're going to get all of next year's college and pro football seasons in full, all of next year's college basketball season through the national title and March Madness for full, all of next year's NBA regular season in full, basically all of this year's playoffs and a little bit of next year's playoffs, and also the rest of this baseball and a little bit of next year's baseball. This is a great time to lock in on a 1-year package and start taking a serious investment approach. Now look, if you want a 1 day or a 1 week or a 1 month, that's fine also. Build your bankroll. It's quite simple. Every client gets the same plays, whether it's a 1 day or a 1-year package. If I'm using a game, I send it to my clients, same best bets I've won with consistently for the last 29 years as a full-time professional handicapper. Yeah, I've been doing this for 4 decades, since 1996. Follow along, and also don't miss out on the free play. My last cut goes up as a free play, a free opinion for everybody each day. So check out the daily free play. Check out the best bets. Check out the special promos. You can also see the best bets recapped, win or lose. My last 20 best bets show each and every day a rolling recap, and you can click on them afterwards to read the analysis as well. Check out my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM. Don't forget to follow me on social media, also at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L, at Steve Merril on X and Instagram, Merril, at Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And once again, if you want me to continue to do every playoff game every day for the next 2 months, thumbs up, like, positive comment below, and I will keep the videos coming. I read the comments, I reply back. What are your thoughts on these 3 games Thursday night? Sides, totals, player props, what are you looking at? Hey, drop some analysis if you have time. Let's learn and earn and win together here on Wager Talk TV. And on the way out, make sure you've clicked subscribe. We're over 200,000 subscribers now. Make sure you're part of the family. And also click that bell as well so you get an instant alert when tomorrow, Friday's NBA preview video, and Saturday and Sundays are available. So click that bell for instant alerts and stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV because you know there's more free play videos coming up next.